In this video, I'm going to talk you through how you start a blog on WordPress.com. And note that we're talking about WordPress.com, not WordPress.org. There is a big difference between the two sites. And on WordPress.com, WordPress will host your blog on their server for free, forever. And if you're just starting out or if you just want a fairly basic blog, this is a fantastic solution. And like all things, though, there are pros and cons to the whole procedure. Let's look at some of the pros. Well, of course, the big pro is the cost. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything at all to host your blog on WordPress.com. And there are automatic updates, so you know that your WordPress blog is always going to be up to date with all the latest things that WordPress have to offer. So you don't have to worry about any of the back-end tasks that you have to take care of when you have a WordPress blog on your own server. And of course, there's bulletproof security. After all, it would be very embarrassing to them if your site were to get hacked. So they make absolutely certain that that doesn't happen. And there's 24/7 support. When you have a self-hosted WordPress site, then of course the support depends on what sort of support your hosting company offers. And it's SEO optimized, so it's easy to get listed in Google and the other search engines. They'll do it for you very quickly, and Google's robots crawl the site very frequently. So as soon as a new blog gets uploaded onto WordPress.com, it gets indexed pretty much right away. But of course, there are always some cons, so let's look at those. First and foremost, only the most basic option is free. Only the most basic option. If you want some of the more sophisticated features, then you have to pay, and exactly what you pay depends, of course, on what you want. Ads may be showing your site and you won't receive any revenue from them at all. That will all go to a company called Automattic, which happens to own the WordPress.com site. And you can't upload custom themes, plugins, or modify the code. Now, for a lot of people, this won't be a big deal, but for some, it will be a very big deal. And of course, the domain name is going to include WordPress.com. It's going to be your blog name.wordpress.com. So that can also be a problem. You don't have your own domain unless, of course, you upgrade to one of their premium packages. But then, of course, it can be expensive to buy a domain that way. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, it's never actually your site. It belongs to the company that hosts it. And if you fall foul of any of their terms and conditions, or there's complaints, or for whatever reason they decide to take your site down, they'll take your site down and you'll lose everything. So you don't have any control over the site. It's never actually your site. Now, you can upgrade to one of their premium plans and you can get things like custom domains, you can get e-commerce, you can use premium themes, you get more storage space, and of course, no ads. But you do have to pay for that, and you do have to pay for that upfront when you register your site and when you set your site up. Now, let me just show you how you go about setting up a site on WordPress.com. Okay, the first thing to do is to come here to WordPress.com. And as I was saying earlier, be sure to come to WordPress.com, not WordPress.org. And then very simply click here on the button that says Create Website. And it takes you through to this page. And as you can see, there are 5 steps to creating your site on WordPress.com. And the first step is to add the site address, and this is the unique URL that your blog will have. And as you can see, it's going to be a subdomain of WordPress.com. So let's call this New Videos to Go. And it's showing it is available. So what I do now is click here where it says Create Your Site and Continue. It takes you through to this page, and as you can see, it's now got the site's address, and they need a few more details. They need my email address, and they need a password. Then you have to read and agree to the terms of service, and then click here where it says next step. So let me just pause the video while I add these details in. Okay, I've opened up the terms of service in a new window, or a new tab rather, so that I can read them here. All fairly straightforward. Let's just close that. And you can see I've put all the other information in here. So now all I have to do is click here on next step. And it takes you through to this page, which is actually an upsell page. And you can type in a custom address, or you can buy one that they have here. I'm in the UK, so it's giving the prices in pounds sterling, but if you're in another country, it'll give you the prices in your local currency. And so you can choose to upgrade and have a custom URL if you wish. I'm not going to do that for this demonstration, so I'm going to click here on no thanks. And it takes you through to the next step where you choose a theme for your blog. And there are a number of ones you can choose from, depending on whether your blog is going to be mostly photographs or mostly text. Just scroll down a bit so you can see them. And lots of different ones here. Now, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to say that my blog is going to be mainly text. So let's find a fairly simple one. Let's choose this one here, Minnow. So I just click on that. And now it's setting it up. And then you come to this upsell page where you can decide to keep the free one, or you can upgrade. And you can see there are different prices that you have, and you do have a free trial option for some of the premium ones. For this demonstration, I'm going to stick with the free one, so I'm going to click here where it says select free. And it takes me through to this page where they say they need to verify my email address. It says to post and keep using WordPress.com, you need to validate your email address. Click the link in the email we sent at, it's got my email address here. And let's just scroll down a bit to show you some of the other things. You can add features with a plan, or you can customize the site by clicking here. You can change the theme. Let's go down here. You can start your first post, or you can create a page, or you can skip the steps and come back to this page at any time. Right, I need to verify my email address first. So let me just pause the video and log into my email account. Okay, I've logged into my Gmail account, and you can see here it's saying confirm email address. So I just click here on the button, and it opens up this new tab which says my email is now verified, and I can start publishing posts on my blog. You get this one here, Hello World, which is the default first post. And you can change some of the other things here. You can go to the WP admin section. Just click on that so you can take a look at it. And as you can see, it's the standard WordPress dashboard. If you just scroll down, you can see some of the rest of it. All these different things that you can add in. It's slightly different from the WordPress dashboard that you would have if you installed WordPress on your own server. It doesn't have quite so many features, but if you're just going to have a simple blog, then this is more than adequate. And as I said earlier on, this is free forever. So it is very good value for money, even though you may have advertising on it. Let's just take a look at the site. Click here on my site. And then we'll click here where it says view site. And we can get an idea as to what the site will look like. And there we go. That's it done. And you can see it's showing my URL, new videos to go.wordpress.com. Now this is setting it up on WordPress.com. But as I mentioned earlier, you are limited in the functionality that you can have on a WordPress.com site. So if you're serious about blogging and you're serious about getting traffic to your blog, and particularly if you want to monetize your blog, then you really do need to have it on your own hosting and on your own domain. And I'll start to tell you how to do that in the next video. In this video, I'm going to talk you through how to install WordPress on your own site. Before you get started though, there are a few things that you're going to need. You're going to need a domain name, and you're going to need hosting. When looking for hosting, you're going to need a hosting provider that provides PHP and a MySQL database. Now, most hosting companies, most paid-for hosting companies these days will provide both as a matter of course. Some of the free hosting companies, or if you have a broadband package that includes a certain amount of web space, they might not include PHP and MySQL databases, but most paid-for hosting companies these days do include these. Now, in this video, we're going to be installing WordPress from the control panel. And the most popular type of control panel is cPanel. And that's what we're going to be using for this demonstration. With cPanel, a lot of companies provide a couple of add-ons. One is Fantastico, and the other is Softalicious. And these are packages of free open source software that you can install with just a few clicks, and they generally come bundled with cPanel, one or the other. So you need to check and see what your hosting company provides before you actually take out the hosting and try to install WordPress on the server. Now let me just talk you through the procedure. Okay, now I've logged into my control panel, and this particular hosting account uses cPanel. If you have a cPanel hosting account, then you might find that your version of cPanel looks a little different from this. They do vary depending on which package your hosting company has. Now, I'm going to scroll down to the bottom here, because this particular hosting package comes with Softalicious. The most popular types of add-ons that come with cPanel are either Fantastico or Softalicious. If your hosting package doesn't include those, you might find that your hosting company has got WordPress in another box up here, because it is a very popular application. If you don't have that, if you need to install it manually, don't worry, I'll cover how you do that in the next video. But fortunately, my hosting package does include Softalicious, which does include WordPress. So I'm going to click here on WordPress. Now, because this is Softalicious, it's taking me through to the Softalicious installation page, or the page to install WordPress from Softalicious, rather. And if you're installing from Fantastico, or if you're installing directly from cPanel, then it might look a little bit different, but the general principles are going to be the same. So you need to come over here and click on the tab that says Install. And you can see all the information to set the site up. You can choose your protocol, either HTTP or HTTPS if you have a SSL. You can choose the domain. Normally, there'll only be one domain on this drop-down menu. If you have a subdomain attached to your account, it'll give you the opportunity to install it in the subdomain or the add-on domain. Then you have the directory you want it installed in. By default, this will set it up as WP. If you're going to have it on the main part of your website, if you're going to have it on the main part of your domain, then you want to leave this blank. So let's just delete that. Let's just scroll down a bit further. And you've got the table prefix in the database, and the site name and the site description, and you can enable multi-site. I'm actually going to leave all this at the default settings for this demonstration. Let's just scroll down a bit further. Then you can set up your admin username and password, and then the admin email. By default, it will set it up as admin at whatever the domain is. And it's a good idea to change this actually, because spammers know that this is the default email address. And so you might find yourself getting a lot of spam emails if you leave this at the default settings. You can set your language. By default, it's English. But if I click on the menu here, you can see you've got all sorts of different ones that you can have. You can also, this is a good idea to check this box that says limit login attempts, because this will basically block out anyone who tries to hack into your WordPress blog. Sometimes people will try and hack into your site by accessing the admin area, and this will lock them out after they've put in the wrong password a certain number of times. Just scroll down a bit and look at the advanced options. Again, you can set all these. You've got automated backups, etc., etc. I'm going to leave all this at the default settings for this demonstration. Let's just close that. Then you can select a theme, and as it says, it's optional. If not selected, the default theme will be installed. I'm going to leave all this at the default settings. So then you just simply click here where it says install. Of course, let me go back up here again. You'll want to change this first. You don't want to leave particularly the password at the default settings, because then anybody can hack in. Let's just pause the video while I do that. Okay, I've changed all that. You can see I've given the site a name and a description, and I've changed the admin password. If you click here on this little gold key, it will generate a random password, which you can see from this is actually very strong. If you decide to do this, then what you should do is copy and paste this into a text file in Notepad or something similar, and then save it to your computer's hard drive and perhaps print it out just so you have a written record of it somewhere. I've also changed the admin email, so all I have to do now is go down to the bottom and click here on install. You can also have these details emailed to another email address if you want. Let's just click here and get it installed. And there we go. It's working all this through, and it says this may take 3 to 4 minutes. So, except it didn't take 3 to 4 minutes. There we go. It's done right away. And you can see you've got the URLs, including the admin URL. You can also send a tweet if you're on Twitter to tell people that you've got your new WordPress website set up. But let's just click here and we'll log into the admin panel. And I just need to enter my username and password. And then click on login. And there we go. You can see that this WordPress dashboard is similar to the WordPress.com dashboard that we looked at in the last video, but it does have more functionality. For example, you've got plugins here, and it's telling me that one of them needs updating. But other than that, it's actually very simple. Okay, that's how you can install WordPress on your site via cPanel. If you don't have the WordPress installation script as part of your hosting package, you'll need to install it manually. And I'll show you how to do that in the next video. Welcome to part 2. In this video, I'm going to explain how you can install WordPress on your own site manually. That is to say, how you can do it if, for some reason, your hosting provider doesn't include an auto-install script. Now, just like in the last video, you're going to need a domain name, you're going to need hosting, and your hosting provider should include PHP and MySQL databases. In addition to that, you're also going to need FTP software to upload the files to your server. You can use the file manager that comes with cPanel or other control panels, but it can be a bit slow and difficult. And the FTP software that I like to use is called FileZilla, which you can download for free from this site here, filezilla-project.org. So basically what we're going to do in this video is download the software from wordpress.org, and it's important you go to wordpress.org, not wordpress.com. We're going to upload to the server via FTP, and then we're going to run the installation routine manually. This is how you do it. And the first step in installing WordPress manually is to download the software. So you come here to wordpress.org and then click here where it says download WordPress, and it'll download the latest version to your hard drive. And at the time that I'm making this video, the latest version is WordPress 4.2.3. So let's click here on download WordPress. And it takes you through to this page, and you've got various options. You can download the latest version as a zip file or a tar file. You can also get the mobile app as well by clicking on this button here. Let's just simply download the zip file. So I'll click here on this button, and you can see it's downloading to my hard drive. It's got about a minute left, so rather than have you sit through and simply watch the timer go down, I'm going to pause the video and then come back to it once the zip file has been downloaded. Okay, I've cheated a little bit. In addition to downloading the zip file, I've also uploaded it to my web space, and I've logged into my control panel, logged into cPanel, and now I'm going to finish setting it up. First thing I need to do is to access the zip file. So I'm going to use Legacy File Manager for this demonstration, although you can use File Manager, but I actually prefer this one. So let's just open that. And we're going to open it in the web root, the public HTML. Click on Go. And you can see we have the zip file uploaded. And this is in the main public HTML directory. I've uninstalled the previous installation, the one that I showed you in the last video, just so there aren't any conflicts or anything like that. Okay, so we can click here on the zip file, and then I'm going to click here where it says extract file contents, and there we go, that's done. And if I refresh this, and there we go, and you can see it's installed everything into a directory called WordPress. Now, if I was doing this for real, I would probably want this in the root directory, and if I just open this up, you'll see everything's in here. And what I'd have to do would be to copy all this over or move all this over into the public HTML folder. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'm going to leave it as it is for the time being. Okay, we need to go into the WP admin folder. So just click here on this icon. It opens up the folder, and then you want to scroll down to where it says install.php, and then we actually want to run this file. So what I'm going to do is go here where it says URL, and I'm going to click on that, and that should open it in a new window, or a new tab rather. Anyway, it takes you through to this page, and you select your language. The default is English United States, but there are other languages as well. I'm going to leave it at the default setting, and then click here on continue. And it takes you through to this page where it needs some information, and you're going to have to set this up manually in cPanel. You're going to need to know the database name, database username, database password, and database host, and the table prefix if you want to run more than one WordPress in a single database. Okay, so to set that up, we first of all need to go back into cPanel. So let me go back to the cPanel tab. And we need to scroll up a bit to where it has the section on Oops. Databases, it's just down a bit here. And you want to click here where it says MySQL Database Wizard. Opens up this window, and the first thing you do is enter your new database name in here. So let's call this WordPress. And then click on Next Step. Add the user. And then you want the password. And you can also use the password generator if you want. And then you click here on Create User. You want to give it all privileges. And click here on Next Step. And there we go. Now you want to make a note of all this information because you'll have to enter it in. But you should generally keep this confidential because it can be useful to a hacker. And this is just a demonstration database and WordPress setup that I'm doing for this video. By the time you watch this video, I will have taken it down. So let's just go back to the WordPress setup configuration file. And now I've got all this information done. Let's click here on Let's Go. And then we want to enter all this information in. So I'll just pause the video while I do that. Okay, and I've set that up. And the important thing to remember is you must include the prefix under the database name and database user. That's very important. Otherwise, it won't work. So I've put everything in now, including the password, which I'm obscuring for security purposes. And now I just need to click here where it says Submit. And it takes you through to this page where you have to put in some information about the site. They want the site title. They want the administrator's username, password, the email address, and you can check this box to allow the search engines to index the site, and then click here where it says Install WordPress. So let me just pause the video while I do that. And there we go, I've entered all the information in. So now all I have to do is click here to install WordPress. And there we go, that's it, it's done. And all you have to do now is simply click here to log in. Then you want to enter the username and password. And then click here to log in. And here we are in the WordPress dashboard as before. So that's how you go about installing WordPress manually. Slightly more difficult than simply installing it from within the control panel, but as you've seen, not too difficult. In the next video, I'll talk you through how you go about installing a new theme in your WordPress blog. In this video, I'm going to show you how you go about installing new themes on WordPress. Now, as you'll see, there are two ways of doing this. You can either choose a theme from within WordPress itself, or you can upload your own theme. And this can either be one that you've created yourself, or it can be one that you've purchased, or it could be one that you have had someone create for you. This is how you do it. Okay, I've logged into my WordPress dashboard, and as you can see, it's running the 2015 theme, which is the default theme that you get when you install WordPress. To install another theme, there's two ways of doing it. First of all, you come here to Appearance, and then click on Themes. And you can see the default installation has the current theme, which is 2015. And you've got other themes as well, 2014 and 2013 that come included. And if you want to simply swap over to one of those, all you do is click the button that says Activate. And you can see it's showing that the new theme has been activated, and that is the one that it's currently showing. But if you want to add a completely different theme, then, as I said, there are two ways of doing it. First thing to do is to come here and click on Add New, or you can click down here on this space here. It makes no difference. We click here on Add New. And it takes you through to this page. You can see that you've got lots of different themes that are all on WordPress. This is a link to the main WordPress server, and you can see all the different themes. You've got their featured themes, popular themes. You can do a search. You can click here on the feature filter. If I click on that, and you can decide what colors you want, what features you want. If there's a particular subject that you want to have, you can have all those. And let's just go back. And let's install this one, Big Impressor. All you do is click here to install. And there we go. That's now installed it. And we can click on this link here that says Live Preview to get an idea of what the site will look like. There we go. That's what it's going to look like. And you can change the site title and tagline and the colors, or the header image, or the background image. You can alter the widgets. You can set a static front page and so on. And then when you're happy with everything, click here on Save and Activate. There you go. That is now saved. And we can see exactly what the site will look like with this new theme. The other way that you can do it is to upload a theme from your computer's hard drive. Now, this could be a theme that you've designed yourself, or one that you've purchased, or one you've had someone design for you. All you do is click here where it says Upload Theme. And then click here to choose a file from your computer's hard drive. It should be in zip format. And then click Install Now, and the procedure is exactly the same. So there you go. That's how you can add a new theme to your WordPress blog. In this video, I'm going to talk you through designing your own WordPress theme using Lubith. Now, Lubith is a WYSIWYG online theme generator. WYSIWYG meaning what you see is what you get. And there are both free and paid for versions, but we're going to be using the free version for this demonstration. Before you start, though, there are a few things that you need to decide. First of all, you need to decide on your theme's color scheme, because once you actually get onto the site, you can make changes on the fly, but you do need to have some idea as to what you want the site to look like. And you also need to create your header graphic, because the one that actually comes with Lubith, the default one, isn't particularly good. Now, when it comes to creating a header graphic, 940 by 239 pixels is the recommended size, and you should save it as a JPEG file. You can use software like Adobe Photoshop or GIMP to create it yourself, or you can outsource it to someone on a site like Elance, or if you're strapped for cash, you could try a site like Fiverr.com. Okay, we're going to come here to lubith.com and then click on this button here that says Start Here, it's free. And it takes you through to this page where you choose a username, enter your email, password, and the CAPTCHA, or you can connect with Facebook, Google, or Yahoo. Let me just pause the video while I enter this information in. Okay, that's done. So all I need to do is click here on Register. And there we go. It's saying registration was successful. You must now confirm your email address where you can log in, check your email, and click on the link provided. So let me just log into my Gmail account. And there's the link in my inbox. So just click on it. And there we go. It's saying your account has been activated. You may log in. So just enter the information in here. And then click on Login. And there we go. As I said, it's very easy to use. So to get started, all you have to do is click here on the button that says Start Here. It's free. Now, Lubith is actually very easy to use. And this is what the Lubith page looks like. And I'll just talk you through all the controls and everything. You can change the positions of things just by simply clicking on them and then holding the mouse over this orange button here to move it up and down and backwards and forwards. And you can change the size of things by holding the mouse over this green button and sliding it around. You can alter the positions of things. You can alter the positions of the text blocks and the sidebars and the header images and that sort of thing. You can change the background. You can have a background image or a color. You can have it transparent. You can alter the opacity just by simply clicking on it. You can change the type, the font, and so on. The free version is very limited, but on the paid for version, there's a much better selection. You can change the type size just by sliding it here. You can add a border. There are all sorts of tools that you can have as well. You can add and remove things. For example, you can add a logo or remove it. You can get rid of the site title and description. You can have one or two sidebars. On the pro version, you can get rid of the footer link. On the free version, you have to keep it. I'll show you that in a moment. And now let's say, for example, I want to change the background. Let's just lose that. Let's say I want to have a custom designed theme for my blog, and I'm going to use Lubith. I'm going to change the background, select the background, and click on background, and click on background color. And then I can simply change it. Let's say I want to have a sort of a more blue color, a sort of a steel gray. I can change it like that just by moving over the mouse. Can you see how that's changing now? And then just simply click on OK. Background will actually select the background of whichever you happen to have selected. So if you've got text block selected, you can change the background color or things like that. Okay, now I'm going to have the site's name in the header. So I'm going to get rid of the title and the description. So just uncheck those checkboxes. And that's okay. I'll just close that now. And now I can move the header image up a bit so that it's a bit further up towards the top. And there we go. And I can also make it wider or narrower, however I want it, just by moving it on the green button there. Again, you see, very, very simple. Now I want to have a header image here, and this is one I've created already. So I'm going to upload that from my computer's hard drive. So you go from background and upload image, and a pop-up window will open. And this is the file that I'm going to have, Lubith header, and I've created this myself in Photoshop. You can create one yourself, or you can always outsource it. So let's just click here on open. And it takes a moment to upload. And there we go. It's got the header. Okay, now I need to move the menu up a bit. So let's just click over there. This can be a bit tricky because sometimes they're a bit hard to see if your screen resolution is mine is. Okay, so pull that up. Like that. That'll do. And I can change the colors if I want. So we can do again using background color. You can see it's opening this way. So let's just move those around, because you can move these all around like this. And you can have either a background to the whole menu, or you can just have the individual labels. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to have them normally be white with a black text. So let's move that all the way over there, like that. and then click on OK. And I'm going to keep the other ones at the default setting, but you can see you can go through and change all of these in the same way. You've got the different submenus and when it's pressed and so on. And you can alter the width of the other various parts here. In fact, I'm just going to move this one down a little bit, just so we're under the menu. Bring that over there. Let's line that up. One thing I don't like about Lubith is you can't snap to grid, so you have to sort of eyeball everything, which can be a bit difficult and can take a bit of practice to get right. Okay, let's just scroll down. You can see what it's going to look like. And let's change the footer color here, like that. Let's make that again a sort of a blue color. Let's have background color there. You can move that down. Again, you can just simply move it around like that. If you have the RGB or the hex code for a particular color, then you can simply enter it into the box here, and it will show you the before and after colors as well. So then click on OK. And I'm going to leave all the rest of the default settings. So now we can test the theme by clicking here on this button. And there we go. You can see what it's going to look like. That's not too bad. And you can play about with this. Again, you can go through all the different menus and check them out to make sure they work properly, etc. Now, on the free version, you have to keep this link back to Lubith, but when you have the Pro one, the paid-for version, then you can put your own link in the bottom here, or you can do away with it altogether. Okay, let's go back to the editor. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that, so I'm going to download that now to my computer's hard drive. So click on Download. And then you can see it's downloaded it onto my computer's hard drive. So all I need to do now is install it onto WordPress. Okay, I've logged into my WordPress dashboard and I've gone through the Add Themes tab like in the last video. I'm going to click here on Upload Theme and then choose File. And this is the theme I'm going to upload, the one that we've just created, my Lubith theme 2.zip. So click on Open and then click on Install Now. And there we go, that's done. I can click on the live preview. And we can see how it looks, and that looks okay to me. So I'm going to click here on Save and Activate. And there we are. That's a new custom designed theme installed in WordPress. In this video, I'm going to tell you about 5 plugins that your WordPress blog must have in order to be successful. Now, all of the plugins that I'm going to talk about in this video are, first of all, are free, and second of all, are able to be installed from within the WordPress dashboard, so they're very easy to install. Okay, let's get down to business. Plugin number 1 is Shareaholic. And Shareaholic allows you to easily share posts and pages on social media. And it's got full support for Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, Google+, Reddit, LinkedIn, Gmail, Delicious, OneNote, Evernote, StumbleUpon, Dig, Tumblr, Hootsuite, Buffer, Fancy, Wanelo, Yammerly, WeHeartIt, Flipboard, Print Friendly, Amazon Wishlist, Instapaper, Pocket, Who's, Inbound.org, VK, and a lot more. Now, the procedure for installing these plugins is all going to be the same. So I'll show you on the first one. The configuration is going to be different. So on the subsequent plugins, I'll just show you how to configure them because the installation procedure is exactly the same. So log into WordPress, go to the WordPress dashboard and scroll down here to where it says plugins and then click on add new. You can click there. And it takes you to this page where you have some of their popular and featured plugins. And come here to the box where it says search plugins and then type in the name of the plugin that you're looking for. In this case, it's Shareaholic. And then enter. And there we go. You've got Shareaholic, share buttons, rated posts, social analytics, and more. Quite why it's listed twice, I don't know. But there we are. And you can see it's got over 100,000 active installs. This is the one we want. So click here on Install Now. And then click here on Activate Plugin. Okay, it says action required. You've installed Shareaholic for WordPress. We're ready when you are. And click here to get started now. So just click on that button. Opens up this window and you have to click here on Get Started. And it says by clicking Get Started, you agree to Shareaholic's terms of service and privacy policy. So we'll click here to get started. And you can register and configure to get the additional features with a free Shareaholic account. I'm actually going to skip this for this procedure here, but what we can do is go through the things here, like where you can put the related and promoted content, where you want to put the share buttons. Usually you have it below the content on both posts and pages. You can edit the settings here and so on. And you can also monetize it, which includes promoted content, affiliate links, and so on. And we'll click on Save Changes. And there we go. That's saying the settings are successfully saved. And let me just show you what this does. Let's go to the site. You can see it's added this here under this default first post. And this makes it easy for people to share your site on Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and Pinterest, or they can email a link and so on. Okay, this is the first plugin that your site needs. Let me tell you about the next one. Plugin number 2 is GA Google Analytics. And this inserts your Google Analytics tracking code onto all of your theme pages. It uses the latest version of the Google Analytics tracking code, and you can include the GA tracking code in either the header or the footer. And it also includes the option to add your own custom markup. And again, you go through the same procedure as before, and this is the one we want, GA Google Analytics by Jeff Starr, and click the button to install it. So that's installed and activated. Now I need to alter the settings, and I can do that two ways. I can either click on the link here that says settings, or I can come down here to the settings tab, and you can see it's added it down here, GA plugin. Let's just click on that. And you can see it's telling you that Universal Analytics is now the standard for Google Analytics. So you'll need to add all the information in. Let's just scroll down. Click here on GA plugin options. And you will then need to enter your Google Analytics ID, and you'll find that in your Google Analytics account. It's the number that starts UA, and then you can see information there. And what you do is log into your Google Analytics account, get this number, copy and paste it into here. you'll want to check this checkbox and all these other checkboxes as well. Personally, I would leave this one unchecked for display advertising. You can, if you wish to give him support, enable the one for link attribution or not. It's up to you. And you'll probably want to keep the code location for the default setting for in the head because you get better results that way. Let's just scroll down a bit more. You can put in some custom code if you want, or tracker options. If you click here on this link, it explains a bit more about it. You can also enable the Google Analytics in the WP admin area, and then click here on Save Settings, and you'll be all set up. Okay, plugin number 3 is the EU cookie law. Now, even if your website is hosted outside the EU, if it can be accessed from within the EU, you must comply with the EU cookie directive, or to put it correctly, the EU privacy directive, and more specifically, Article 5(3), which requires prior informed consent for storage and for access to information stored on a user's terminal equipment. In other words, you must ask users if they agree to most cookies and similar technologies, in other words, web beacons, flash cookies, and so on, before the site starts to use them. And this is the plugin we're going to install, EU Cookie Law. It's the one that's got the picture of the gingerbread man. So click here to install now. Okay, that's installed and activated. Now I just need to alter the settings, which I'm doing from within the settings area here. First thing to do is obviously check the checkbox to activate. The cookie acceptance length, by default, it's a month, but you can change it. Some sites I've noticed like to be very careful and risk averse and have it only last a day. Let's do that. So every 1 day, you'll get the acceptance bar. Only other thing I'm going to change down here is the position. It puts it in the bottom right. Personally, I like to have it up in the top left, so it's the first thing that people see when they come to the site. And you can change the bar message. See, if I continue to use the site, you agree to the use of cookies, and the accept text, etc. And you've got the pop-up box content and the blocked code message. When that's done, click here on Save Changes. And if we go to the site, we can see it in action. So click here on Visit Site. And there we go. You can see it's showing the bar. By continuing to use this site, you agree to the use of cookies. Click here to accept it. Plugin number 4 is Contact Form 7. Now, there are lots of different contact form plugins out there, but I believe that Contact Form 7 is probably the best one around. And Contact Form 7 allows you to manage multiple contact forms, plus you can customize the form and the mail contents flexibly with simple markup. The form supports AJAX-powered submitting, capture, Akismet spam filtering, and so on. There's a very simple shortcode to insert it into your blog, and it enables you to hide your contact email address from spam bots. And this is the one we want, Contact Form 7. So let's just get that installed. And when it's all set up and activated, you'll find a new icon here in the sidebar, Contact, and you'll have the contact forms. It'll automatically set up a contact form called Contact Form 1. And this is the short code. Let me just copy that. Control and C on my PC. On Macs, I'm sure you know what to do. Let's just take a look at it. Let's just edit it for a moment and just take a look. You can see what the form's going to look like. It's got the name, subject, message, and the send button. You've also got, look at here, who it's going to be going to. It'll automatically set it up for the default email address, but you can always change this. You can change the from and the subject and so on. It's got messages. This is what happens when a message is sent or fails to send. This is what flashes up on the screen. And there are some additional settings as well. You can add customization code snippets in there. And what you can do is you can enter this into either a page if you want to have a contact page, or you can enter it into a text widget if you want to have it in the sidebar and appear on every page. I'm going to have a contact page for this demonstration. So pages, add new, and we'll call this page contact. And then we just have to paste the shortcode in like that. And if I preview it, you can see what it looks like. Just scroll down a bit. Got all that. Now, one thing you might want not to have on your contact page is this Shareaholic stuff. So let's just go back. And if I scroll down here, we can check these checkboxes to hide all that. Because obviously you don't want people to really share your contact form. It just encourages spammers. Okay, let's move on to the next plugin, which is probably the best one of all. Okay, I've saved the best for last, and this is plugin number 5, the all-in-one SEO pack. And this optimizes your WordPress blog for SEO or search engine optimization. And it includes things like XML sitemap support, so you can submit your sitemap to Google and Bing and improve your SEO, support for SEO on custom post types. You can fine-tune page navigational links. There's integration for WordPress e-commerce sites. There's support for CMS-style WordPress installations. It automatically optimizes your titles for Google and other search engines. It generates meta tags automatically and much, much more. You know, if you only install one of the plugins that I talk about in this video, then make it this one, because it really is something that can turbocharge your blog and really help get it noticed. And this is the one we want, the all-in-one SEO pack by Michael Torbert. And as you can see, at the time I'm making this video, there are over 1 million active installs. So it is actually a very, very good plugin. Okay, let's install it. And when it's installed and activated, you'll see this new listing here in the sidebar. Let me just talk you through the settings here. These are the general settings. And a few things that you need to take note of. First and foremost, you'll want to set your homepage settings, because this is how your site is going to appear in Google and the other search engines. So you want to alter your homepage's title and a description. You want to have your homepage keywords, and you may or may not want to have a static front page. If you're having a blog, you'll probably want to have that disabled. If you're setting up WordPress as a website, you will probably want to have it enabled. The keyword settings, of course, you're going to want to have that enabled, and you're going to want to have the tags for meta keywords and to dynamically generate keywords for posts and page archives. You go through here. Most of these things you'll probably want to keep at the default settings. Again, you can format the titles of pages and posts, etc. Now, a couple of other things here. You can integrate verification with Google Webmaster Tools, Bing Webmaster Center and Pinterest. And again, you simply enter your information in these boxes. You've got your Google Plus profile, which you enter in here. So you can integrate your site with Google Plus. You can also enter your Google Analytics ID in here. If you're using the plugin that we discussed earlier, the GA Analytics plugin, then personally I would leave this blank because it might cause a bit of a conflict. And also the GA Google Analytics is a bit more detailed. The Google Analytics setting that comes with all-in-one SEO is a bit basic, in my opinion. You have the no index settings. Obviously, you don't want things like your categories or date archives to be indexed in Google and other search engines, so you want to keep those set. You can go a bit further down here, and you can exclude pages. Let me show you the other one here, the performance. Let's just click on that. Unless you really know what you're doing, it's best to leave this at the default settings. But you can, if you wish, raise the memory limit and the execution time. And it also, if I scroll down a bit here, gives you some information about your system and so on. The last one to look at is the feature manager. And you can activate various features of the plugin. You can generate an XML sitemap. You can activate social media data. Generate a robots.txt file that is very helpful for getting things indexed in Google. You can edit your robots.txt file in your .htaccess file to fine-tune your site. You can block bad bots. And you can also optimize the performance as well. This comes activated automatically. Now let's just show you how this works in a post. Let's come here to posts and all posts. And let's just edit the default post that comes with WordPress, Hello World. Let's click on edit. You can see all this information here. This is what it would look like in Google. And you can alter this. You can alter the title. You can alter the description. You can put in the keywords, custom canonical URL. And also, if it's for things like your contact page, you can have the no index and the no follow and no ODP and so on activated so that it doesn't get indexed. If I go back, you'll see that it also shows things like the SEO title and the SEO description and the SEO keywords right here, and you can alter them on the fly without having to go in and alter the entire post and, save it again and everything. So there you go. I mean, as I was saying earlier, if you only get one of these plugins that I've talked about in this video, then get this one. It's a bit complicated to set up, but once you've done it, it's worth its weight in gold, and it really can help you get a lot more traffic to your blog. In this video, I'm going to tell you where to find the best affiliate products to promote on your blog. Now, the first place that you want to look at is ClickBank. And ClickBank sell digital products that can be downloaded as soon as the customer purchases them. And they're great because, first of all, they are easily available. And second of all, you can sign up right away and start promoting the product right away. Lots of ClickBank vendors provide you with a considerable amount of tools to help you promote their product. You can get things like website copy and banners and Twitter tweets and all sorts of good stuff that are provided by ClickBank vendors. To find products to sell in ClickBank, come to clickbank.com. And you'll need to create an account. So you'll click here on this link to create an account and then follow the on-screen instructions. Then click here on Marketplace, and you can either browse the categories here, or you can do a search here in this box here for Find Products. The amount of commission that you're going to get is going to vary depending on the vendor. They set their own commission, but some can be quite generous. Some can pay 75, sometimes even 100%. Okay, the next site I want to talk about is Amazon.com. Now, there are various versions of Amazon in different countries around the world. There's a UK version of Amazon, and there's a Canadian version, and a French version, an Australian version, and quite a lot of others. But for the best results, it's best to go to the main US-based site, which is Amazon.com, because basically they're the default site that people get directed to if they haven't got a local Amazon.com. So in addition to the US, you also serve a lot of the world from Amazon.com. Amazon.com sells both physical products. They started out selling books, but they also sell other stuff as well now. And they also sell digital products, things like video downloads and stuff for their Kindle e-reader. The amount of commission that you're going to get on Amazon is not as high as you're going to get somewhere like ClickBank. But on the other hand, some of the prices can be quite higher. So therefore, it works out as broad as it's long. Also with Amazon, the more you sell, the higher percentage commission that you get. So it's well worth getting a lot of stuff from Amazon on your website, because it only takes a few sales to get you up into the next band, and you can start making a higher commission on all of your sales. Amazon have various different sites around the world. The one that I'm showing here is the US site, Amazon.com, but there are others, like, for example, it's detected my IP address as being from the UK, and it's prompted me to visit amazon.co.uk. To sign up as an affiliate with Amazon, scroll down to the bottom of the page, and then click on this link here that says Become an Affiliate. The next site is JVZoo, and JVZoo is a bit like ClickBank insofar as it's mainly digital downloads. Unlike ClickBank, though, JVZoo will pay you via PayPal. With ClickBank, you have to either get a wire transfer at the end of the month, or they'll send you a check in the mail. With JVZoo, though, they will pay you into your PayPal account. You can, in some circumstances, actually get an instant commission. So as soon as the sale is made, you'll get the commission right away, which is, a pretty good advantage. To sign up with JVZoo, come here to jvzoo.com and click on the button here that says Become an Affiliate, and then follow the on-screen instructions. After you've been approved, you can then go to the marketplace. Let's just click here. And you can see all the different categories. And just like with ClickBank, you can browse the categories to find a product to promote, or you can do a search in this box here. Again, like with ClickBank, the amount of commission varies, but some vendors are very generous and do pay 75 or even 100%. So it's well worth signing up with JVZoo. And finally, there's CJ Affiliate. Now, this site used to be called Commission Junction. And CJ Affiliate functions in a slightly different way from the other sites that we've talked about in this video, insofar as they act as an umbrella for lots of different websites. Lots of different companies will actually run their affiliate programs through CJ Affiliate. So you'll find that lots of different sites that sell both physical products and digital products are available on CJ Affiliate. But CJ Affiliate acts as a sort of an umbrella for all these different types of websites and all these different types of companies. To sign up with CJ Affiliate, come here to cj.com, and then you want to scroll down to the publisher side here, and you want to click on this button here that says Free Publisher Sign Up. Now, as I was explaining, CJ works slightly differently from some of the other affiliate programs that we've covered in this video. So you may still have to wait to be approved by some of the companies that they represent if you decide you want to sell some of their products. So it is a two-stage process, really. But it's still worth signing up with CJ because you can get a decent rate of return on some of the products sold by companies that they represent. Of course, having good products to sell is nothing if you can't actually write compelling copy that gets people in the mood to actually buy these products in the first place. And I'm going to show you a really sneaky way to do that in the next video. In this video, I'm going to show you a really sneaky way to create review copy for your blog. Now let's examine this. Let's look at the problem that you have when coming up with review copy for your blog. Well, you may need to come up with review copy for an affiliate product you're promoting, but you can't afford to purchase the product yourself, especially when you're just starting out and cash flow might be a bit tight. Or you simply don't have time to buy the product and put it through its paces and do a thorough test. And this can be a real problem because how can you make what you're going to say absolutely believable if you've never really, bought the product or had it in your hands if it's a physical product to see how it all works and the good and the bad points of it? Well, there is a solution. And what you do is simply rewrite reviews that real customers have done. And you want to include both positive and negative reviews to give, a fairly balanced opinion. You don't want it to be sort of too hyped. You do want to include a few negative points as well, but you do, of course, want it to be mainly positive because after all, you want people to be enthusiastic about the product and click on your affiliate link and go ahead and buy it and you get the commission. And this works best on Amazon.com because they have a lot of reviews on their site, but it can be applied to other sites and other products, but as long as it's a site where they invite customer reviews. I'm going to use Amazon for this demonstration. And so I've come to Amazon.com and I've searched for a product that has a lot of customer reviews. And the one I've chosen is this one, the Kindle 6-inch glare-free touchscreen display, Wi-Fi, and includes special offers. And you can see that at the moment it's retailing for $79. And you'll also see that it has 10,168 customer reviews. So this gives me a lot to go through and a lot to choose from. So let's just click here where it says customer reviews and we'll take a look at some of them. Okay, and you can see they're showing here the most helpful positive review and the most helpful critical review. Now, you don't want to use these as source materials for your article because no matter how well you rewrite them, there's going to be some similarity. So what you want to do is you want to find a review. In fact, you want to find several reviews that have been done sometime in the past because most people, when they come to sites that have reviews, they only read the first page or maybe the second page and that's it. So you want to scroll down a bit and find some reviews that have been around for a while, but that people probably aren't going to read right after they've read your article. So let's look here on the positive reviews. Let's just click here. And you can scroll down to the bottom. which is a long way down. Okay, and let's go down to page 4. And you want to scroll down and find several long reviews. Let's see, this is quite a long positive review. So what you want to then do is highlight all that. There we go. And copy and paste that into your word processing software. And you want to do this for a couple of ones. Here's quite a long one. If I scroll down a bit further, here's quite a long one. And I do the same with that. Then you want to go back up and look for some negative reviews. Let's just go up to the top here and see all 2,136 critical reviews. And again, scroll down and again, let's go to page 4. And you want to find a review that's not overly critical, because after all, you want to give a positive enough impression that when people read your blog post, they're going to click the link and go through and buy the product. But you also want to find a few, probably one, fairly unhappy person's review to copy and paste. Let's see, like this guy says, I don't like the touch screen. So you could include something like that in your review, that you miss real buttons and the keyboard and that sort of thing. And there's another one saying touch Kindle is okay by disappointing. And you could put that in maybe as the penultimate paragraph in your review. So you want to have something that starts out positive, then you want to cover the bad points of it, just so that you're not sort of hyping the whole thing, and then end on a high note. So again, I would copy and paste this into my word processor, rewrite it in my own writing style, have a call to action at the end of my blog post, and a link to buy the product with my affiliate link. And that is a really sneaky way of doing a review without actually buying the product. In this video, I'm going to talk about guest posting. Guest posting is a great way to build backlinks, establish yourself as an authority in your niche, and to get content for your own blog. Now, there are 3 steps to writing effective guest posts. Now, step number 1 is you've got to do your homework. So you need to check out other blogs in your niche. You want to read them. You want to see how they rank. Do they encourage people to comment? Does it look like they accept guest posts? You want to do all that and, stick around and read the blogs and make sure that the two of you are going to be a good fit for one another. And then step 2, you want to be polite. You want to contact the website owner and inquire as to whether they accept guest posts or not. Some do, of course, some don't. Some will only accept guest posts from people they know. And if they do accept guest posts, then ask them what they're looking for. It's very important. Don't just submit an article. That's spamming, and chances are it's going to be deleted straight away. And you want to have some examples of your writing handy. Or better still, you want to direct them to your own blog so that they can read some of the posts that you've got there. Okay, step number 3, you want to write your post. And first and foremost, you want to make sure that it fits with the blog's writing style. If the writing style is fairly formal and traditional, then you want to make sure that you write your article that way. If the blog style is fairly upbeat and contemporary, with lots of slang and stuff like that, then you want to make sure that, again, your article fits in with that. If it's British English, you want to make sure that you run it through a British English spell checker beforehand. If it's American English, the same applies. Run it through an American English spell checker just to make sure that you've got all the spelling right and that everything fits in with the blog's writing style. Then you want to optimize it for the right keywords. And it's a good idea to discuss this with the blog's owner ahead of time to make sure that you've got the right keywords, the keywords that they're looking for, that's going to bring traffic to their blog. Then you want to submit it to the webmaster or webmistress first, and then you want to make any changes that they deem necessary. You might think that you've written a fantastic article, the sort of article that will be absolutely perfect on your own blog, but they will absolutely hate it and you'll have to do it again. So, you have to develop a bit of a thick skin when you write for other people. And then you want to stick around after the post has been posted and reply to any comments. You want to answer any questions and so on. Don't just simply write it and walk away and leave the blog site owner to sort out any questions. You want to make sure that you are there to give some sort of after-sales service, if you like. And you don't want to ask for payment for your article or for your guest post. All you want is a backlink to your website. And you want to have it linked to your blog's main URL rather than to a specific page or a specific article, because that's going to help your search engine rankings. And a good way to find blogs that allow guest posting is to simply do a search in Google. If you put in your niche and then blog guest posting, and for this example, I'm using the fitness niche, you'll find lots of blogs or lots of directories and lists of blogs which allow guest posting. And the thing to do is to visit these blogs, read the content, get an idea of the sort of style that they have, the sort of thing they're looking for, and then contact the owners as previously discussed. And this is a good way of not only getting traffic to your site for no financial outlay whatsoever, but it's also a way of boosting your reputation in your niche. Okay, what if you want to do things the other way around? How about getting people to guest post on your own site? Well, first of all, you want to make sure that your blog ranks highly, because after all, no one is going to want to waste their time by writing an article or a blog post that's going to go on a blog that no one's going to see. Because after all, anyone who's going to submit a guest post on your blog is going to want to do so for the same reasons that you want to submit a guest post on somebody else's blog. So you want to make sure that your blog ranks highly and that it's going to be worth their while. And you want to let it be known that you accept guest posts. And you can do that by either stating so on your blog, or you can get in contact with some of the people who run directory sites like we just looked at that list blogs that accept guest posts. And you want to check out potential guest posters before giving them the go-ahead. You want to make sure that they are up to the job. You want to check out other articles that they've written. And if they have their own blog, you want to make sure that it's a good one. You want to make sure that it's getting plenty of traffic and that the articles that are on their blog, the postings that are on their blog are worth reading. You don't want to have time wasters, because if somebody puts something that is an inferior post on your blog, it's going to reflect badly on you. And you want to reject anything that's not up to standard. Don't spare people's feelings. If it's not good enough, you want to say so and reject it, because it's your reputation that's on the line. It's your blog that it's going to be reflecting on. And of course, if you do have to reject something, then you want to tell the guest poster why, and you want to give them the opportunity to make corrections. After all, if something is being written on somebody else's blog and it's acceptable, sometimes it's going to be different. Your standards are going to be different from theirs. So these are the sort of things that you want to bear in mind when you are both wanting to guest post on somebody else's blog and when you want to get someone to guest post on your blog. In this final video of the series, I want to go beyond blogging. And in particular, I want to show you how you can go about integrating Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube to provide both content and to spread the word about your blog. A simple way of course, spreading the word about your blog through social media is to add the Shareaholic plugin that we discussed in an earlier video. And that's going to allow visitors to your site to interact with your blog and to be able to share that on social media. The other thing is you want to put your blog URL into your Facebook, Twitter, and Google Plus profiles so that when people go to your Facebook page, or when they go to your Google Plus page, or when they follow you on Twitter, they'll have your blog URL, and just through curiosity, they'll probably click on that, and that will take them to your blog. And if the content is compelling, they'll come back time and time again. You also want to have your website URL at the end of your YouTube videos so that when people have finished watching the video, they'll know which URL it is. And again, just through curiosity, they may well enter that URL into their web browser and discover your blog. And as I said earlier, if the content is compelling, then they will stick around and read the articles. You also want to have a clickable link at the top of the description. So right under where your video is, you want to have a clickable link that will take people to your blog. And that is a very good way of getting traffic from YouTube, from people who actually visit the YouTube site. But you want to have the URL actually in the picture at the end of your YouTube videos as well, because if they're shared on websites, like I'm going to show you in a moment, then people will still be able to find the URL. Okay, let's talk about how you can insert YouTube videos into your WordPress blog post, because having a video on your blog gives people a good reason to stick around for a while. And after they finish watching the video, they're going to notice other things that you have on your blog. They're going to start reading the blog posts and so on. So having a YouTube video on your blog is a very good idea indeed. Okay, I've come here to YouTube, and this is the video I'm going to insert. It was a news item fairly recently at the time that I'm recording this video, and it's about a great white shark beaching itself in Cape Cod. And as you can see, at the time that I'm making this video, it's been viewed over 6 million times. So what I want to do is insert this into a blog post. So I'm going to come up here to where it says share and click on that link. And then you have two options here. You've got the share link, you've got the embed code, and you also have the email code. What I'm going to do is come here to share, and I'm going to copy that to my computer's clipboard. So come here to copy, and then I'm going to come back to WordPress and add a new post in. So I've come to posts and add new. So I'm going to enter the title. And now I'm going to click on this button here that says add media. Opens up this window, and I want to insert from URL. So click here. And then I'm going to paste in the URL to the YouTube video. Just Control and V on my PC. Mac users, I'm sure you know what to do. And then click here where it says Insert into Post. And you can see that's what it's going to look like. And I'm on text mode here, so you can see it's showing the code, the embed code. If I was going to use the visual setup here, the visual tab, it would actually show a preview of the YouTube video, as you can see here. And if I wanted to add any text underneath, I could do it now. Let's just preview that to see what it looks like. And there we go. That's what it looks like. You can see we now have our YouTube video embedded. Now, one other thing I'll just show you. Obviously, if I was doing this for real, I would want to change the all-in-one SEO settings. Let's just do that. Just scroll down a bit here. And you can see I would want to add the title and the description and so on, and keywords, etc. Let's just put something in here. Obviously, if I was doing this for real, I would spend some more time doing it and do it properly. Then I can click here to say publish to publish it to my blog. Incorporating Twitter tweets into your blog means that you're going to have a lot of content that's constantly updated. And there are several ways of incorporating Twitter tweets into your blog so that when you make a tweet, and you can do that, from your cell phone or whatever, then that automatically updates your blog at the same time. Now, there are two plugins that will enable you to integrate Twitter into your WordPress blog. The first one is Twitter, and this is the official Twitter plugin for WordPress. And what it will enable you to do is to embed Twitter content into your blog. So when you post something on Twitter, or if you're following somebody else on Twitter, you can then insert that into your WordPress blog, and it'll be updated every time there's a new tweet on this particular account. You can show it as a post on your WordPress blog. The other one, let me just scroll down a bit, is this one here, which is Twitter Widget Pro. And what this does is it enables you to have your latest tweets displayed in the sidebar of your blog. So you enter the Twitter account information, and then every time you add a tweet onto your Twitter account, it will show up in the sidebar of your blog. So you can show your Twitter feed constantly in your WordPress blog as an additional amount of content in addition to your posts and pages. Linking your blog and Facebook is another good way to both get content and to get interaction between the two different types of media. And the plugin that I recommend for this is Custom Facebook Feed by Smashballoon. And this enables you to display a customizable Facebook feed of your Facebook page or any Facebook page on your blog. So when you make a post to Facebook and it goes into your Facebook timeline, then you could also have it onto your blog right away. And finally, don't forget about your RSS feed. With all these different types of linking your blog to social media and that sort of thing, people tend to neglect the RSS feed, but it is still a very good way of sharing your own blog's content across other media, on other people's blogs and on other people's RSS readers that they get on their desktop, and also of getting new content for your own blog from other people's RSS feeders. So it is a very useful way of doing it. A bit old-fashioned, but it is still very much something that can be beneficial. And I hope you found these videos beneficial, and I wish you every success in your blogging efforts.